Hello, everybody. Hopefully, this stream goes smooth. My computer's been acting up, but so far, so good. Looks like it's doing its thing and not glitching out and pausing. Anyways, today we're talking about managing illness. It's going to be probably pretty relevant for a lot of people. Um, we got back to school happening and natural flu slash now natural COVID season kind of hitting us. So lots of illness. There's been lots of people on the team down. Casey's down. She's got strep throat, so she's sitting silently over there, sucking back halls and chloroseptic spray. Yeah, going to talk about how to manage illness when it comes, and it's not always perfectly straightforward, but we'll get into it. If you join in the live, please drop your win. We'll start off with wins, and I'll read them out at the end here. If you're watching right now and you don't have the ability to comment, like it just isn't showing a comment section for you, you might have to sign into your YouTube account. Um, if you have a Google account, you have a YouTube account. You might not have ever used it, but it all works together. So you might have to sign into your account, and the other thing you might have to do is open the YouTube app on your phone to watch the live, and that will give you the ability to comment. So far, those are the only solutions that we have. We're looking to find out what we can do to make this easier for you guys. It was the whole point of coming over here to do lives on YouTube was to make it easier, but a couple little hiccups that we got to sort out for you guys, and we're working on that. Alrighty, so let's talk about managing illness. Where do I want to start with this? First thing to know, let's start with like the beginning days of getting sick. When you start to feel a little bit run down, energy's not quite the same. You got those like kind of little symptoms, and the thought in your head is like, oh, I hope this doesn't become a cold. That stage, that's where we want to get really extra focused on nutrition and water intake and sleep. Your body needs more time to fight off what it's got, what you're dealing with. If you've got a bug or a virus or something like that, your body needs energy to fight that off, and we need to provide it the right energy so that it has quality energy to use. And we need to make sure that it's able to move things everywhere it needs, all those lovely macrophages eating things up and spitting them out. We need water, lots of water in our system to make sure that all of that waste and everything that's happening metabolically inside your body to fight that virus or bug is able to happen. So lots of water to keep things efficient. Sleep, of course. So your body, when you sleep, is when you recover. Um, Through the day, we're doing so many things. Like I'm burning energy with my hands, talking, thinking, all of this sort of stuff. It requires more energy, and our bodies aren't able to really give a good effort into recovering us during the day because there's just so many other demands that the body has to deal with. Our bodies are incredibly efficient, but they're not just like robots, right? Which is why these things matter. So getting extra sleep allows your body that time where your body's in a deep state of rest, hopefully, if not at least a shallow state of rest where it's doing a whole lot of nothing, and it can focus its resources on healing your body, healing from workouts. This is why we talk about sleep every single week on your check-ins. But we need a little bit more, and we need quality sleep to manage oncoming illness or to be able to beat it, right? So that's the time when you're looking at making sure that you're getting like a solid 7 to 8 hours. Take melatonin if you need to, or whatever you need to get a good sleep. Really, really important. It's an area of focus for sure. With your workouts, if you're starting to feel run down and fatigued, message Casey or I right away. And most likely the advice that we're going to give you is let's pull back on effort this week. Or we might even, depending on where you are, we might even be like full rest. Because same thing, if we have one task that the body needs a ton of energy for. So it needs a lot of energy to fight off this virus, this cold, whatever is going on inside our system. Um, and then we go into the gym and we use up a whole bunch of our energy resources and then create more work for the body to recover from. We're making the body split focus from being able to be, putting every resource possible into your immune system, then into also having to recover from workouts and manage the stress that we induce that way, right? So, um, like I said, message us. Don't make a decision on your own. Message us, and we'll guide you. But it's likely going to look like pulling back on workouts, making the effort a little bit less. It might mean more rest days. It all depends on where you're at. Right. So that's kind of the initial stages, and then of course doing the normal things that you do. Make sure that you have your vitamins and minerals. I would recommend that everybody takes multivitamin daily, anyways. But everybody has their own regimes, typically around like how to avoid getting sick. There's like people who I've heard of will believe a lot in using zinc and vitamin D. There's a lot of people who I've heard of use oil of oregano sublingually. Um, there's like vitamin D and K3, or vitamin D3 and K together. There's all kinds of different like vitamins and ways that you can support your system. Um, do those things. It's not going to harm you. There's not really any real true cocktail that's going to like be the game changer, but making sure that you at least have vitamins, the proper amount of vitamins and minerals with a multivitamin supplement is going to be a beneficial thing. All right, so we've gone over that's kind of like leading into illness. So you're starting to feel it. It's not quite there. What do you do when you're full blown sick? One, definitely no workouts. At this point, we know your immune system is busy, busy, busy. It needs all of the time and energy to manage the illness, the cold, the bug, whatever you've got going on. And so, same thing, we want to stay true to nutrition and water. Not necessarily because we want to maintain results or whatever, but we need to have that there to support the body and the immune system. This is why it's so important when you're sick. Sometimes it's you just don't feel like eating, or I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But a lot of times we just want comfort food. We like chicken and rice and veggies doesn't sound appetizing, or even like having a steak and potatoes and some asparagus sounds like you're like, oh, I just don't feel like eating it. All I want is eggs and pancakes, and I want chips, and we want comfort food, right? But that's not going to help the situation, right? We want to support our bodies with quality nutrition, so it's really important that you do keep up with your nutrition, getting your intake from quality sources, and getting lots and lots of water in. These things become extra hard when you're sick, which, in my opinion, just kind of shows how extra important it is to work on them, right? So when something gets really hard, it doesn't mean we don't do it. It means we probably need to put more effort into doing it. So yeah, no workouts, of course, for multiple reasons. Like I said, to heal the body, but also we don't want to spread things. So good to stay home when you're sick. And as you're getting better, like when you start to feel better, the time where you can start to like kind of think about going back into the gym and doing workouts, or if you're at home doing workouts at home, is when the fatigue is gone. When your energy levels are back to normal, and you're waking up at the normal time, going to bed, you feel spry, you can go out and do activity, you can get walking in, and you don't feel like a bag of rocks and you're ready just to crawl back into bed. The fatigue, the energy levels are back to normal. That's when you can start looking at going back to the gym. Oftentimes, you may still have some lingering symptoms, stuffy nose, cough, whatever. Generally, at this point, you are no longer contagious. It really depends on what you have. But for the most part, you're no longer contagious at that point. You've been well into your cold at this point. We're looking probably around 7 to 9 days. Um, and those symptoms are just kind of hanging in there. And you can train through them. But again, this is going to be on an individual basis because if you have a stuffy nose and you have a ton of sinus pressure and you're getting tons of headaches, going to the gym is probably not going to be something that is beneficial because you might just end up with a horrible headache and then you're kind of decommissioned for the rest of the day because now you've just made whatever lingering symptoms you had worse. Now, if you're like a little stuffy, whatever, you can manage it with some meds and it's not an issue. It's not causing you headaches to go to the gym, or you go to the gym and, you don't have any fatigue. You can work like all the way through, then you're fine. This is part is where you need to have a little bit of caution. Hey, Robin, this is where you need to have a little bit of caution and you need to be in tune with your body a little bit. So pay attention because at this point, when you're going back to the gym and you're like, I'm going to test workouts again, it's good. Glad, go do it. Pull back on the effort a little bit. So keep your RIR and tell us. We're going to tell you. We're going to guide you on what to do. So you don't have to remember all this stuff. Just remember to ask us, and we'll make sure that we guide you. But when you go back in, we want to pull the effort back from where you typically are as like a 1 or a 2 RIR, probably to like a 3 or a 4. You want to ease your body back in. And you need to listen to your body when you're doing that workout. If you do 2 sets of something or 2 exercises and you're like, holy crap, I'm smoked, I'm so tired, call it. You don't have to finish the workout. We don't want you to. That is a good sign that you're not ready to go back to the gym yet. And it's okay to test it and find out, but don't push yourself through the fatigue. If you're feeling extra fatigue and you're just like, holy crap, like, this is, I just need to go back to bed, then go back to bed. What can happen is you can start round 2 of the cold if you push yourself too hard. And it doesn't happen every time, but it has. I've done it, so I can tell you firsthand it happens. If you try to go back too soon, you can prolong the cold. Like it opens up that window of susceptibility again. The bug takes root again. You've got like another 4 or 5 days where symptoms get worse and then calm down again. It just keeps you out of the gym longer. So listen to your body, pay attention, talk to your coach. We'll guide you with that. Something I wanted to add on that topic. It's kind of slipping my mind. Oh, yeah. I was just thinking about how often and how many times I'm sure everybody's heard it where people will talk about going to the gym to sweat out their cold. It's like the worst thing you can do. Do not do that. That is completely uninformed, terrible advice. You are taking a body that is under a tremendous amount of stress by trying like with a ramped up immunity, and you're taking energy resources away from it and causing more damage. It's like, yeah, bad idea. Don't do it. Okay, so there's some other types of illness that make it a little bit hard to be on top of your nutrition. If you've got GI stuff and you're puking, or you have just absolutely no appetite because you're so constantly nauseous, at that point, obviously, we don't want you to force feed yourself. If you're eating 1,800 calories and you can't keep food down, there's really nothing that you can do until those symptoms pass. The only thing that I want you to focus on, if you have GI and you've got fluids come out of every orifice of your body, is to pay attention to your hydration. Get as much water in as you can. Drink Gatorade. Actually, Gatorade's crap. Drink Powerade. Powerade has the most electrolytes in it by a long shot, for any of these like rehydration or electrolyte drinks. Prime drinks are terrible, probably the worst. Gatorade's not very good. Powerade's one of the best. The best thing you can get, honestly, is like a Pedialyte tab or something, and put that into your water. That's going to rehydrate you the most. The concern with gastro outbreak like that, or not outbreak, sorry, that's nursing talking, gastro illness, is that you end up dehydrated and your electrolytes go crazy. And then I've known people who have had to go in to get IV fluids. sometimes, that's just the course. Like if you drink water and you puke it up, like you can only do that so many times, right? But do the best that you can. Listen to your body. Don't force feed yourself. When the gastro symptoms pass, start bringing back foods in slowly and start with like a soft food, liquid food diet. So start with bone broths, smoothies, yogurt, like things that are like light and easy to get down. Soups are good, pho, all that sort of stuff. Start with that first. It generally takes close to a week for you to feel normal again after having gastro like that. The nausea and the appetite issues can kind of linger for about a week after. Some people rebound quicker than others, but just be prepared that it can last longer. You're going to be in communication with us, so the expectation, honestly, at that point is just to do the best that you can and listen to your body. Um, Again, don't force feed yourself. If it's not gastro and you have no appetite and nausea, same thing. Get as much quality food in you as you can. Communicate with us and we'll guide you along that. You might want to move to a softer foods diet like that, anyways. Like right now, Casey has strep throat and swallowing food is super painful. So her intake has primarily been through like soups and smoothies, anything that's like soft and easy to get down. So uh, that kind of like answers the what to do about nutrition if you just can't get nutrition in question. If you have any other questions, comment them, tag us, and we'll answer them for sure. Think that's about it for illness stuff. That kind of wraps it all up. We've gone through like kind of the different phases of your illness and what to do and manage there. But I can't stress enough that nutrition, sleep, and water are like the three most important things to help you recover from that illness faster. Um, for gastro, you're contagious for up to 48 hours after your last symptom. That stuff passes by droplets. So, touching things, whatever, be really on top of your hand hygiene if you want to keep your house from getting sick. Isolate, if you can, that bathroom that you're sick in to you only. Don't let anybody else go in there. Give it a nice deep clean after, and you'll be good. But you are contagious until for 48 hours until the end of your last symptom, whether it's coming out the top end or the bottom, doesn't matter. That's a timeline of contagiousness. And then for things like colds and whatnot, it's generally you're contagious for like the first 4 days usually. But again, that depends whether it's the flu, COVID, rhinovirus, or whatnot. Yeah, wrap it up there. If you have questions, let me know. If you are joining on the live, hashtag your win. And obviously, you're joined on the live if you're hearing me say this. So drop your biggest takeaway. Let us know your questions and communicate with us the second that you feel any sort of signs and symptoms of illness coming on. We'll help guide you through that process. All right. Have a wonderful Tuesday. We'll see you all soon.